life and reach out to people so that we can use a closer relationship with one another, but also with you. Father, we love you, we praise you in Jesus' name.
Amen. Commissioner Horvath, will you lead us, please, with the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Frederick.
Here.
Pro Tem Evelyn.
Here.
Councilperson Bailey. Fox.
Here.
Greenway. Here. O'Leary.
Here.
Teich.
Here. Thank you. The first item before us is the approval of tonight's agenda. Move approval.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Tonight's agenda is approved. The next item is the approval of our minutes of our regular meeting of June 6th. Move approval. Support. Moved and supported. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are adopted. Council will note the following single attachment, which is related to our item of business on the public hearing, which is item 2 under items of business. Council will please note that document. Next, we have proclamations, special presentations. We have none. Public hearings, none. Brings us to our first citizen comments and questions period. This period is a maximum of 4 minutes per speaker. Are there any in the audience who wish to address the council? Yes. If you'd give your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Caroline Wilson, and I live at 405 North Wall Street in Owosso. And I'm here to introduce myself to be your next county clerk, if you allow me, on August 2nd at the primary vote. I'm currently working as a county employee at the President's Court as the office manager. And I come from a large family where I am number 10 out of 13 siblings. So if any of you are familiar with a large family, you would understand the dynamics of it's like a little city of its own. I learned a lot of hard work ethics and commitment with my youth, and I just carry that forward with my progression here to county clerk. And I worked for the city, I worked for the county for 21 years, currently holding the office manager position for the last 9, where I managed the office of 12. I worked budgets. I deal with the public on a one-to-one basis, be it in phone, communication through the computer, or directly in person. I'm currently working under Judge Matt Stewart, and I've had the privilege to work with Judge Lestrappo and Judge Claraval, who are 2 of my biggest endorsers. And if you know anything about them and their respect, you would know that they understand my work ethic and my commitment to my job and to the people of Shiawassee County. And so I'm just asking for your vote on August 2nd. And if you have any questions.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks. Have a good evening. If you excuse me, I have more information.
I'm certain you do. Thank you. Are there further citizen comments? Yes, Tom. If you give your name and address, please.
Yes, just a real quick question. Tom Manke, Owosso Township. Brandon Stockford is getting an award tomorrow and at Michigan Association of Chief of Police. And I was going to go up and cover it, but if you guys are going to be doing something, giving him an award here for getting an award, then I won't drive up there. So what I'm asking is, do you folks have any plans on doing that? And I won't make the drive. So thank you.
Thank you. We do anticipate a city recognition. Are there further citizen comments? Yes, Eddie. Would please.
Much before I get over the 617, just tell you all, I'm back. So
Yes.
whenever hang up to the VA cabin, I never miss you.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Any further? Seeing none, we're back to council for any council comments. Seeing none, we're on the city manager report. City manager.
I have none.
Consent agenda. Move adoption. Moved and supported. This is not a debatable motion. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilperson Greenway. Yes. O'Leary.
Yes.
Pro Tem Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilperson Fox.
Yes.
Teich.
Yes.
Mayor Frederick.
Yes, the consent agenda is adopted. Items of business number 1, 2015-16 City Budget Amendment. Consider resolution amending the 15-16 budget incorporating adjustments made during the fiscal year.
Move approval of the resolution.
Support. Moved and supported. Discussion of that. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Pro Tem Evelyn?
Yes.
Councilperson O'Leary?
Yes.
Greenway?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Teich?
Yes.
Mayor Frederick?
Yes, the budget amendment for 15-16 is adopted. Item 2, set public hearing for Planning Commission ruling appeal. This would set a public hearing to consider the appeal of Troy Grove regarding the Planning Commission ruling on his request to rezone South Park Street property.
I will move setting the public hearing.
Council will note that's set for Tuesday, July 5th.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion of that? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilperson Teich?
Yes.
Greenway?
Yes.
Pro Tem Evelyn?
Yes.
Councilperson Fox?
Yes.
O'Leary?
Yes.
Mayor Frederick?
Yes, the public hearing is set. Item 3, roadway and water main for Brownfield District 8, land purchase and easement. Resolution authorizing the execution of appropriate documents with Sonico Protective Solutions to effectuate the construction of the roadway and water main in Brownfield District 8 Sugar Beet site.
I'll move approval. Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion of that. Councilman Fox.
I'd like to have the city manager bring us up to date where we stand on this, going through this whole project.
What's been going on?
A lot of pieces. The items that you have before you are dealing with the access that would be provided to the site to be purchased by Cargill from the city, which would come from Chipman and run along the railroad track. This has been, like I say, in the plan for many, many years. We've reached an agreement with Snowco to sell us the land for $1, might say $1 and other considerations. As you'll note, the agreement covers some other particular items in there. And then there is the water main easement on this particular site that really, first of all, would run within the land to be purchased along the railroad and then go west over to the softball fields, and it'll piece that goes along the north line. Now you start talking about interesting things that you get into on it is dealing with DEQ, that there's a what they call a due care plan that was put together back when the Mitchell Corporation owned the property, I believe it was, which has gone through, and a due care plan basically in this case comes down that there was various spots of contamination various places, and that therefore any soil that is removed from the water main, you're going to put in a 12-inch water main for a quarter of a mile, quite a bit of soil comes out of that. It cannot be moved off of the property. So one thing we had to work out with Snowco to be able to leave the soil on that particular property. We had talked about could we move it to the property that we own, that we're selling to Cargill, because there's going to be a heap of dirt over there as well that comes out of that site. Nope, there's a property line and you can't cross the property line. So that's been one of the issues we have been dealing with there. The Cargill property itself that we're selling to them, they have proceeded with making plans. We cannot sell it to them until we go through the steps with the city brownfield approval and the approval by the MEDC, so we can do the tax capture. They threw us, MEDC threw us a curve last Thursday afternoon and said that we have to put together another plan, that the simple brownfield plan itself does not suffice, but we have to have another document. And Susan has been going through her files today and has has accumulated. Most of that information is there, just not in the format. For a little bit, we were very fearful that we were going to have to spend some money, and they told us, oh, you can spend up to $30,000 to put this together, to amend the plan. Back when the original plan went into place, this was not even a requirement. So we're working quickly trying to put that together. Cargill has put together their pricing for their particular project. Last I knew, they were still negotiating with contractors as far as the details were concerned. The city improvements that would go in primarily on for the roadway on the Sunoco property and the water main, which will go on a number of properties. Those plans have been completed, and we are just trying to coordinate things right now as far as our bidding schedule is concerned with Cargill. All these things are beginning to fall into place, and I guess our biggest headache right now will be meeting the one more requirement for MEDC. The Brownfield Authority meeting has been set locally, and whatever we're dealing with doesn't have any issues with that.
What is the time for the Brownfield?
It's June 30th at 9 o'clock.
Brownfield meeting?
Right, our local Brownfield.
Councilman O'Leary.
Well, maybe I'm stupid or something, but what kind of contamination would there be on a sugar beet?
Well, on the sugar beet site, well, there was all kinds of contamination out there previously, but that was removed. The remaining contamination is arsenic, came from the arsenic lead that was sprayed onto sugar beets in the past, like they sprayed onto orchards.
Right, so they washed it off.
Further discussion? We do have a motion of support. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilperson O'Leary?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Greenway?
Yes.
Deitch?
Yes.
Pro Tem Evelyn?
Yes.
Mayor Frederick?
Yes. Item number 3 is adopted. I'm not quite sure what to say about that one. Item 3 is adopted. So we're on communications. Are there any questions on the communications calendar? Seeing none, we're on our second and final citizen comments and questions period. This one's a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. Are there any who wish to address the council? Citizen comments. Seeing none, we're back to council for any closing council comments. Councilman Fox?
Couple things for city manager. On the Cordova,
Right.
what's the progress on that now?
The Cordova process is that we entered into the contract, I think at our last meeting, for the money passes through the city for removal of contaminated soils. And the first part that has taken place was that because Cordova wants a storm sewer to serve their property, it has to go underneath Gould Street, and Gould Street is being repaved, and so we had to, or they had to put a stub in there for the storm sewer before the road got finished, because we didn't want to tear up the new road for a storm sewer. Because it was contaminated, they had to get a specialized, their contractor to do the work. We could have done it with city crews. That didn't work. The contractor for Gould Street couldn't do it because none of them had the environmental certifications to go in and deal with contaminated materials. And last week there was a pile on the property, a pile of soil, and that's what came out of the storm sewer project. And I don't know, over the next few days there's going to be a lot of activity in there as the excavation occurs.
So they have to go under Gould Street to get to the storm sewer?
We had to
get
go
all the way, have they got into the storm sewer?
Oh yeah, that project is completed.
That's all done,
That's
so
done.
so the road project goes, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I have one more question, I can't think of it right now. But they're going to be starting the excavation of all the contaminated soil in the very near future? Correct. And as they take that out, it has, what was that?
In July, they'll be
In
starting
July.
it, yes.
So as they dig it up, they haul it off-site?
That's to be, the contaminated portion, I'm told, goes to a specialized facility down near Willow Run Airport.
Incinerate it, okay.
I think they do.
They gotta get EPA approval on it. EPA wants to throw another monkey wrench in.
Further council
I
comments?
got another.
Councilman Teich? Just vote this morning.
Yeah. Just an update on the city property that's sold to the auction. Everything purchased, do we have X amount of property that we have plans for that we didn't get rid of?
There's, right now, I think closings are occurring. I don't know, I haven't been on that. I know Amy has been in on the closings.
I've had a lot of paperwork to sign over the last 10 days.
Good.
That's great.
I guess there were only 4 or 5 parcels that remained, and they either have a likely neighboring property that may be interested, or we just convey a small orphan parcel. But Troy was pretty confident the last pieces could be worked out.
Was that giving maybe
Adjoining or offering it to an interested buyer.
would be basically in charge of doing that?
Well, he mentioned he made some contacts
He
as part
would.
of this thing, so he was going to follow up with some of those. But it'd be up to the city to decide if we wanted to give a small kind of parcel just to the next owner, as we've done in the past.
That'd be great.
Councilman Fox?
Grass on the riverbanks. What's the status really gonna be on that? I'm hearing a lot of complaints.
Well,
And they're not happy with them, and they want to know who made the decision. Council didn't make that decision, probably.
no, I think I told you that we were going to try to deal with the riverbank out here because we had a number of reasons for it. So we seeded it with pretty much native grasses, meadow type grasses, because one, it would do filtering along the edge of the river, as the state and the conservation people say you should have a strip at least 20 feet wide along the river and lake banks to filter out the water going into it. And secondly, we have the problem out here in particular with the geese being on the sidewalk and having a mess all the time on the sidewalk. So we've gotten some good grass growing in there. There was talk that, well, it looked shaggy on top, so we did chop off the tall materials along the top of the river. But outside, right along here, basically, all the rest of the riverbanks in the whole city and the whole area have meadowland grass growing on them or shrubs.
The complaints I keep hearing is that the river's starting to look shaggy all on the side. And people are there, and the question I guess that needs to be answered is, are those people that live on the river going to have to put 25 feet of it into wildlife? Native grass?
We haven't done that here. Many of the communities are doing such.
As far as invasive species, I know there's a lot of young trees, skunk trees out there by the city hall, and things of that nature.
Yeah, we have, we're working on that, especially with the Friends of the River on a cleanup, and also in our agreement between here and Corona and the airport, cleaning things up out here. What we have is basically trees of heaven, which, if you know what those are, it's probably one of the most horrible trees you ever get in your yard, which are primarily growing along the retaining wall, which we need to replace too.
If you don't get those trees that have them out there, you won't have a retaining wall.
Right. Right. Trees of heaven are one of those that kind of looks like a walnut tree leaf, but they will grow, 6 feet in a week.
So, can somebody get some information out to the media and explain this to the people of this city? Why we're doing this and everything? Because maybe if they got some answers that come from City Hall, from staff and stuff, they might understand a little of that. But quite frankly, I'm not happy with it myself. But I think we owe that to the citizens of this city to give them a clear understanding. And if they continually don't like it, then we may have to take some other steps. Because I know down the Earl Street, don't look good. Where they let it for a while down there, you can't even see the river half the time. And that's what people.
So that's fair. Are there further council comments? Councilman Greenway?
Along that vein, but not, my elderly aunt, I should call it, was here from Flint over the weekend, and Sunday we were on our way to go and eat and driving down Jerome Street. And I don't know if there was an event or what was going on, but there were over 100 people, families, and so on, all the way from just past the Penny's Plaza, clear down to the Ducks Garage. And they had their fold-out tailgate tables, families were cooking and fishing. The whole thing, we were amazed. The ducks were out, the geese were out, the people were thronging and mainly feeding themselves, not the geese at this point. But it was a celebration. It was really, really nice. She was so impressed with our community spirit out there fishing and celebrating.
Yeah.
Yes, Kurt.
Along with that, that just kind of feeds us more information back in what we want to do with Jerome Street and that property down through the floodplain. And let's turn it into another good park and stuff. And while we're doing that, it might be good to find a way to put in some recreational vehicle parking.
I don't know.
So they could spend some time here and shop downtown and not just go to look at the river, but have a place where they could set up their RVs or whatever and have the facilities to go. And I think that would look good too. So those are things we need to think about.
Oh, it was Sunday?
Sunday morning.
Okay, was a rescheduled fishing event from Kerwood.
Was it? It was wonderful.
Yeah, they picked Father's Day.
Yeah.
I'm glad it all worked out well.
Oh, it was amazing. The riverbanks were full. It was wonderful. I didn't see any big fish being pulled out, but...
Well, we have a picture of a young man, though, that was in the paper that showed that the Kerwood statue was not terribly ambitious, even for our river. A huge fish. We're at adjournment. We stand adjourned this evening. Keep in mind, Council, to July 4th. Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 5th, 2016. Adjournment. Support. Moved and supported. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're adjourned.
I just had to say that. Spoiler. I'm getting tired of it. You're having a